I'm trying to find my spine on the roller, and it's sometimes difficult because it goes onto the ribs because I have rotation in my spine. So finding a way to be gentler is very important for me. I think it's important for everyone. This is a practice to rehydrate the collagen, the connective tissue around your vertebra. Again, I'm slipping onto the rib. The ability to move my pelvis depends on the hydration in my thoracic spine, the part of the spine that's between the lower ribs and the cervical, the neck. So now I'm going to try to release adhesions around the tip of Africa. If you imagine your shoulder blade, the tip of it, and I'm moving more than I usually do, I think because I'm on camera. You could do it more oriented towards the inner blade or more towards the outer edge of the shoulder blade. And now this is very important because this is what we call shearing. I used to move my arm a lot, but can you hear the clicking in my wrist? That is because there is dryness along the fascial connectivity of my arm. So I'm doing it gently. I'm even supporting. And then I will breathe. I try to release my weight over my feet. So I'm not gripping here, I'm releasing. And then I do the same on the other side. There is a lot of clicking in the back of my skull. I am on my shoulder blade. It's a bit painful. So I stop and I do what we call shearing. If you want to learn more, you could go to my website. You can come do some live sessions with me or online sessions with me, or you can go to Sue Hitzman's website. If you have pain in your body, I highly recommend you work with someone one-on-one. So this now, I feel a bit like fainty feeling because there is a lot of toxins releasing in my bloodstream, because basically what I'm doing is I'm improving cellular fluid exchange, so that means that the toxins get released and some nutrients flood in. Okay, so the next one is really important here for your pecs. I don't have big boobs, but when I'm watching genocide happening on my screen, I'm unprotected because basically the violence is coming at me. and I'm alone at home, so I feel unprotected, and I hunch my shoulders. I go into defense mode. This activation to drive the shoulder blades here to protect my heart can start to inhibit your breath. So it's very important to release the pecs. And we don't talk about releasing muscles. We talk about hydrating connective tissue, stimulating the neuroreceptors here with my brain. So here for me it's very important that, I don't know how important it is for the arms to be outstretched. I have to ask Sue Hitzman about that. But it's very important that I release, that I'm not pushing away in my ankles, and that I can release into the movement. You're going underneath the collarbone. Oh. This movement, even if you don't have the roller, you can put your hand here and just pull down on the sternum. This gets very tense. Or you can put your arms here and try to move the arms only from movement here. So this is not real movement from the sternum. I actually feel pain when I do this because I have too much tension here. My sternum, this breastbone here, is quite congested. And there is for the arm, actually. This is quite important for me. Probably for you too. I'm stimulating the connective tissue around the arm muscle, and then I'm going to shear. I'm pinning down the muscle against my bone, and I'm kind of twisting it in order to squeeze out any fluid, and then when the twist releases, the fluid floods in. So that's helping rehydration. Or this is shearing across the bone. I'm like shearing the muscle across the bone to release any adhesions, any dehydrated collagen tissues that are not hydrated and gliding. And this is for the back of my skull. This is super gentle. I'm not going to pretend that I'm making it bigger. You have to actually zoom in more on me to even see my movement. I could be moving the roller because sometimes to move my head, I'm pinning the skin of my skull and dragging the skin over the bone in order to release the adhesions in the back here. And then I rest for a bit and I try to breathe. I try to release my pelvis weight on top of my legs because I have a tendency to grip here. And when you grip here, you cannot breathe. So trying to find my weight in my feet allows for my muscles here to be available to open and close instead of gripping me from above. And now this is very important. This one here in front of your ear, you can massage every day. This is where the vagus nerve starts or comes out from behind the ear. It is super important for your well-being. When you feel threatened, the vagus nerve responds and you get indigestion. because the vagus nerve goes directly into your abdomen. It's very good to drink water. As you start to hydrate the body, you release toxins, so it's super important to flush it out of the system. Now I go to the front of my ear. I tip my head a bit, and there is like, I'm on the jaw bone and trying to stimulate the area there. I have to be very gentle because I am super sensitive. Some people who are not sensitive, they need more stimulation in order to feel, but I already am super sensitive. Breathe, release the weight into the feet. And then the last one you put on your temple. It's super small movement just to stimulate a bit the skin there to get the fluids. And I notice in my mouth I get like saliva. I immediately respond to stimulating the fascia by sensing with the hydration in the body improving. Breathe. Again, I have to remind myself, where are my heels? Can I release my weight over the heels? Go back to the jaw. A few rounds of stimulation. Breathe. Back to the back of the skull. Very gentle. I now have more ability to move. I can push into my heels and move the head as opposed to using neck muscles. This has to be relaxed. Remember the weight. You can sound, ow, ow, ow. So I have scoliosis and my jaw has asymmetry. I get very tight in my jaw. I've had problems grinding my teeth when I'm nervous, like in my sleep, because the vagus nerves is activated and stressed. So I tend to clench my jaw. That can really affect your spinal health. It can shift the healthy curves in your spine. So you could become gripped here in perpetual tuck. This begins to change the health of your pelvis, the blood supply to your pelvis. Some people become contracted in their lower back. I actually used to think that I was contracted in my lower back, but the tuck for me was a stronger tendency, so I had to release that. And then actually, I think that my lower back was trying to fight to bring my lower spine back. So it was more of an illusion that I had lordosis. It wasn't really my back muscles that were spasming. I was here, and the back was just trying to lengthen me out. Some people flatten in the higher up. A lot of dancers flatten in their upper spine because we tend to do a lot with our legs. So the arms actually the ability of the arms, the shoulders to work with the hips to stabilize and mobilize the spine becomes impacted. Anyway, this was my little performance roller. It's very short. And of course, there is the big one. So this one is a full soft roller, and this one is a performance one. This one is like a travel one. But it's very nice to do the hydration on the upper body on the wall because you don't have to balance the whole thing. This one though we use on the ground for the length of our spine, so it's really nice. It's bendable. It has a very nice texture. If you want to learn more about melting, go to my website, awakeningthespine.org. There will be a link towards the Melt Method website. You can learn directly from Sue Hitzman. I've been studying with her for 3 years. And for me, she's a great source on fascia, not only to know about fascia and connective tissue and your nervous system, but to actually understand how you can stimulate hydration and how you can improve the neuromuscular control in your body, how you can improve the neurological connectivity of your body as opposed to just relax muscles. Because you relax muscles, they tighten again. You have to actually change the neurological pathways and stimulate connectivity in your body. I know that somatic dancers do that a lot, but I can tell you because I've been working with these people since 2016, that's 7 years. It takes a lot of practice to develop connectivity, and if you're not practicing daily and that's not your job, it would really serve you to have a method so that you could target different areas of your body and stimulate connectivity in a systematic, methodical way to awaken fluid exchange in the body and improve hormonal balance, improve neurological balance, stimulate regular digestion and sleep. That is the basis of the autonomic nervous system. I hope this is helpful for you. This is one of my favorite rollers. It's a half roller because we do some stimulation of the spine on top of the roller. But for people with scoliosis, it can be helpful to not over-ignite the awareness of how many rotations and curves you have in the spine. So sometimes it's better just to rest on top of a flat roller and do the exercise this way, as opposed to over a full-blown roller where it's a very deep sensation on the spine. I hope you enjoyed this. Please speak out against Israeli occupation in Palestine. Please ask the American government to stop financing this genocide because it really just depends on the U.S. at the moment. Israel's economy is non-functional without the U.S. Subsidies, the arms supplies, and before Biden and Obama, all American presidents allowed Israel to occupy Palestine, but when they went into genocidal mode to try to kill what they called the animals, because Israel calls, their Torah names anyone who is not Jewish as an animal, so they want to kill the local population that was in that area when they invaded in 1948 to take over the land, which they believed was given to them by God from 2,000 years before, citing biblical references. So when they go into genocidal mode, all presidents before Obama and Biden have picked up the phone and spoken to Israeli prime ministers and said, you will not go further because we will stop the subsidies. So Gazans have never been subjected to full-blown genocide, only ethnic cleansing and persecution. It is very important for Americans to get off their asses and make sure they communicate with their government that they will not support any president who allows Israel to genocide the local population of Palestine. These are our brothers and sisters, the the locals of the Holy Land who lived with Arab Christians and Arab Jews for thousands of years before European, American, and Russian Jewish settlers invaded Palestine in 1948. These were people running from the World War II who were quite psychotic, and I've listened to their own stories speaking of how they raped and killed and tried to exterminate Palestinians, took over their land, the land that they were welcomed in as refugees. The way we welcome Ukrainian refugees, that's how the Palestinian Muslims welcomed Jewish Europeans. They were not Palestinian. They were not from the land of Israel in biblical times. They were European people, Polish, Ukrainian, French, Swedish, and in recent years, many American Jews who were just going to Israel, being given land, and that land has to be taken from the Muslims, who are the locals of that area. They don't have money. They don't have Israeli connections to rich Americans. They're getting slaughtered. Their children are dying with U.S. bombs. Obama and Biden have been supported with a lot of cash, the biggest recipients of Israeli AIPAC support for the Democratic Party candidates. Clinton is also in that group, but not only the Democrats, also Republicans. AIPAC, which is the Israeli sponsoring PAC in America, it really should be registered as a foreign agent because they promote Israeli goals. Basically, America is invaded by people who work for AIPAC, for the Israeli lobby in America. You can just imagine if AIPAC was like a pro-Russian lobby, that they would never be allowed to sponsor American politicians, but AIPAC is sponsoring both Republican and Democrats. There are many even black congressmen and Senate members who are sponsored by AIPAC, and they support Israel, even though Israel is an occupier in foreign land, even though Israel is committing genocide and dropping non-guided bombs on civilian population. They have killed more than 23,000 people within 2 months, and 50% of the Palestinian Gazan population is children. So close to 9,000 children are dead. The last figures, which were 8,000 children, that was about 2 weeks ago. And since then, actually, the Palestinians, they're out of food, they're starving. And just to let you know what starving means, because sometimes I say, oh, I'm starving, I'm super hungry. Starvation is when you don't have food. People in Bengal were starved. Millions of people died of starvation when the British occupation starved the Bengalis. Churchill did that. We don't talk about that because these are our friends. I'm not friends anymore with colonialists. You're either speaking out against colonialism and murder, or you're not my friend. I don't care if you live in Britain, France, America, wherever you want to live. If you are supporting genocide, I am not your friend. I stand against you. Okay? You could be an artist. I don't care. Madonna, I was your fan all my fucking life. No longer your fan. Until you have a manager who is supporting Israel and is a Jewish Zionist, I am not your fan. You can sell your tickets for your concert to someone else. Stand up against what is happening. This could be your child. Marie from France, celebrating Christmas, telling me, no, you don't use your social media for political issues. Really? If I came and killed your child, you wouldn't want someone like me speaking on social media to say stop these people from killing children? You wouldn't want my support? But you don't care because it's children dying in Palestine, and you said, Oh, yeah, it's sad. It's a crazy world, but I'm not going to stress my child. I'm not going to use my social media to put out all these violent images. Well, if you don't put them out, how would Biden know that you're against him? How would he know? The French government is supporting Israel. At what point is this, oh, it's not about my child? I don't have kids. I never thought I even cared that much about children. But seeing children die, their limbs being dismembered from their body, yeah, I'm not okay with that. I don't have kids, but I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay. None of us are okay. I don't feel well for 2 months. I'm crying. I'm stressed. I cannot eat. Because, just to finish my thought, what does it mean to starve? The Bengali people were starved by Churchill during the British occupation of India. And also Americans starved Iraqi people when they decided to decided to do regime change of Saddam Hussein, who was not a nice guy, but they didn't have nuclear power. It was a lie and a reason to invade Iraq. And then to levy sanctions on the people. And an American speaks, like a UN official spoke, of how he was giving money to this poor woman begging on the street. And she had 5 children. And gradually there were 4, 3, 2, 1. The children died of lack of food. And you know how you die of starvation? Not how we talk about starvation. Oh, I'm starving. I haven't eaten today. No. Starvation is where the body starts eating the glucose in your own body because it's not receiving nourishment. It starts to eat into muscle tissue. And when the muscle starts going, it even starts to eat. The heart is a muscle, but it's a different type of muscle from locomotion muscle. It even starts to eat into the heart, and then you die. Your body cannot pump the blood, and you die because your own body is eating on your muscles and your heart. Can you imagine that? I guess you're not following me because I'm talking about depressing stuff, and YouTube has shut down spreading my YouTube videos on the Melt Method because I'm speaking out against the genocide in Palestine. And YouTube owners, Google owners, Facebook owners, they're all in cahoots. Many of them are Jews supporting Israel. So this is a war of very, very powerful people against people in flip-flops digging their children out of the rubble that were bombed by the U.S. It will take Biden 30 minutes to pick up the phone and say, this is the end. No more bombs are going to come to you. No more money. You have to stop this now. Israel will run out of money within 2 days. Because they have 300 men now in the army killing helpless Palestinians. Killing the H word, what they call terrorists. I'm Bulgarian. I was under Turkish occupation. My ancestors fought for freedom. So we killed people for our freedom. We were not terrorists. We were freedom fighters, as were the Americans against the British when you fought for your war of independence, as were the French against the Nazis who were occupying. So please don't try to brainwash people. Please stand up for what is right and scream, because when the body is being attacked, it shouldn't be meditating and calm. Yogis are not supposed to be meditating while someone is killing you. You have to stand up and fight. That's not what yoga is about. You're not supposed to meditate to be calm when children are being killed. You're supposed to have a responsive, flexible mind that can respond to the reality of your life and can take action and not dissociate. not continue to eat chocolate while you're gaining weight and feeling sick and depressed. This is not a responsive mind because you're oppressed. Yoga is fighting oppression, whether it's your own traumas oppressing you or Israeli occupiers oppressing the Palestinians. We're freedom fighters. All somatic movers are here to protect life and stand with life. Please act, speak out, do something, anything, and drink water.